Dontaesboxingnation, what's going on, guys? Man, it is crazy how the closer we get to this fight this Saturday, it seems like the more honesty we're starting to get from people talking about the fight. I mean, the conversation about this fight has taken a complete 180 compared to what people were saying about this fight before. You have a lot of fighters that were actually picking Fury to win the fight before. Now a lot of them are picking Wilder to win the fight. Once again, these are professional boxers and trainers I'm talking about. I've even had a lot of people sending me messages where there are even racists on the internet, from Instagram to YouTube to Facebook, now picking Deontay Wilder to win this fight after saying the most outlandish stuff about Deontay Wilder before. I mean, things such as he really has no chance because he has no boxing skills, and I don't believe the cheating. I've even seen people switch their stance on him cheating, where now they do believe that he cheated. But we know what time it is. Even the most racist fans in the world, they know Tyson Fury cheated, but they have to stay on code. So of course they're going to post comments saying, oh, this is BS, etc., etc. Where's your proof? Where's your proof, right? After they see with their own eyes, they still say, where's your proof? I mean, that alone kind of implies they know what time it is. But for the small percent of people that really are trying to say, no, I don't believe it at all, there's no way it could have happened, etc., etc., I mean, you can ask them just simple questions. Why would Tyson Fury ask, where did some water come from, when he's offered water? Instead of him saying, no, I don't want the water, why would he say, who did this come from? No, I don't want it. Matter of fact, I'm going to play the exact clip just in case you guys haven't seen it. Tyson Fury is sitting down at the post-press conference. Someone hands Tyson Fury a water bottle. He looks at it and said, who did this come from? The guy points over there. He said, no, I'm not going to drink it. He gives it back to him. Check out the clip, guys.
That whole 1 minute long process, what was going on there?
Well, I'm the head coach of the team, but we do things a little bit.
Listen, guys, if you were a detective or you were an investigator, right? And you heard the accusations of a man claiming that he felt drugged. He felt someone put something in his water. Someone spiked his water, right? And then you see footage of the team that's accused of doing it, avoiding water, depending on where it came from. All it takes is you to put one and one together to at least come to the conclusion, this is hella suspicious. But you notice when it comes to, once again, a lot of these race fans that stay on code, they have never even went so far as to saying, I admit that's suspicious, but I still don't believe it. If you think about it, guys, outside of the smaller percentage of racists I told you that have changed their stance, because the majority of them are still saying the same things they've been saying since day one. You notice that? They say Wilder, he has no chance. He doesn't know how to box. He's going to get destroyed. There's no way Tyson Fury cheated. This is why I call them race fans. Because you notice, if you guys listen to everything I've been saying on my channel, it pretty much coincides with the majority of what you have heard the experts that don't have an agenda say. You never hear experts that don't have an agenda agreeing with any of the things you see on the internet. Because the things that they say on the internet is not based off of logic. It's not based on a sweet science. It's based on race. It is an agenda completely based on race. Once again, you never hear any type of professional take from these guys, right? Everything is basically F Deontay Wilder. It's all about Tyson Fury. Wilder is a bum, and you black bastards this and you black bastards that. This is something else the race fans are known for doing. They always try to make it seem like only a black person would say anything positive or even true about Deontay Wilder, because they personally feel if you're not black, you shouldn't be saying anything that even resembles support or even showing respect towards Deontay Wilder, because they don't, and they make it very clear. But once again, the boxing experts are always corroborating with me and the truth. And when I say they're corroborating with me, I'm not talking about based on who they think will win, based on if you believe Tyson Fury cheated or not. I'm just talking about saying things that make logical sense. How dangerous Deontay Wilder is. You've never heard these fans on the internet talk about how dangerous Wilder is, right? Even when the guy that they're defending, Tyson Fury, admits that Deontay Wilder is the most dangerous fighter in the entire sport of boxing. And his father says how dangerous this fight is. And in fact, his son might not even win this fight. Even when they say things like that, these race fans, they stay on code. And they won't even agree with the guy that they're defending because it's saying something too positive about Deontay Wilder. But guess what? A lot of these professional boxers and trainers, they're not afraid to speak the truth, even if it makes Tyson Fury look bad or it supports Deontay Wilder's allegations. I want you guys to listen to this clip of what Robert Garcia said about how Deontay Wilder looked in that second fight. And then I'm going to completely unpack it. Check out this clip. This is something that he said a while ago, but I wanted to make this video the week of the fight and then, break it down. Shout out to my good friend, Michelle Phelps. This is who he did his interview with, Robert Garcia. He did it with Behind the Gloves. Check this clip out.
Well, I think it's going to be an interesting fight because, the first fight was very close, a draw. It was a very close fight. Wilder was able to actually drop them, and a lot of, you could have fight the case where the ref could have stopped him because he got up slowly at 9. Most of the times they stop the fight.
They waved it off. Yeah.
Most of the times they do wave it off, but I also think the ref did a good job. It was such a big fight that he gave both fighters that opportunity, and it turned out to be a draw. The second one, I want to believe that Wilder, something was wrong with him. I said it when I seen the fight right away. Since before he got dropped, I said something's wrong with him. His legs were not the same. His legs were completely off. So I want to feel that something was wrong with him. Maybe he was sick. Maybe he got hurt. Maybe something. But I had that feeling that something was wrong with him. If that was the case, and now he comes to in very well conditioned, then it's gonna be another great fight. I think the trilogy could turn out to be a great fight.
Okay, so obviously the most important words right there were something was wrong with Deontay Wilder, right? Now I want to go ahead and play this clip for you guys of the fight, the second round. Now keep in mind, guys, this is before Deontay Wilder received any punishment in the fight. He's fresh, right? Deontay Wilder lands a perfect signature right hand. And then after he lands the right hand, he backs up and he's almost staggering on his feet as he backs up. Watch this clip right here. Okay, now I slowed this down for you guys. Here Deontay Wilder is landing the right hand, right? Now I want you guys to pay attention to this next sequence. Deontay Wilder is going to throw a jab to Tyson Fury's body. Then watch his legs. Look how weak his legs are when he backs up after he throws the jab. Did you see that right there, guys? You see a little stumble right there. This is the second round, and Deontay Wilder is fighting like he just got hurt real bad in like the 12th round. His legs are not under him. On top of that, also notice how after he lands his right hand, he's backing up as if he's the one that just got hit with the right hand. He's backing up as if he's hurt. Okay, now I want to talk about this costume excuse that, once again, these race fans, they always focus on. If you guys notice, they don't usually like to bring up the gloves. They will always revert back to what? The costume excuse, because obviously everyone knows that's not a real excuse for why you would lose a fight. Everyone knows that. This is the reason why it makes no sense to even bring up the costume, because Deontay Wilder himself, the last 3-4 months, he's been talking about the tempered gloves. He's been talking about Tyson Fury's past, his track record of already being known for cheating, him paying off farmers just to lie because he got caught cheating. These are the things that Deontay Wilder keeps talking about. Matter of fact, I remember when the whole costume thing came out, that was the only thing that old media actually reported. But when pictures of those gloves surface, I'm talking about evidence, not just someone saying something. When the pictures of the gloves surfaced, no reporter, no old media member reported on that. And it's not about you believing if he cheated or not. It's just about being balanced. It's about being impartial. If you're going to report, if you're going to write articles about the costume excuse, which is just hearsay and can't be proven, why wouldn't you make an article about these gloves that we have actually seen that cannot be refuted? And it's a rhetorical question, because once again, they know that no one is going to take a costume excuse as serious. But when it comes to seeing those gloves, they know that right there would get people's attention. And they know that that would start to get people thinking, oh, wow, this man really did cheat, and they can't risk that. Just like old media, they never reported the news. You guys remember when the farmer first came out and said that he was paid off to lie about the boar meat, and that's why Tyson Fury tested positive. Him and his cousin tested positive for PEDs. It was because of the boar meat they bought from the farmer. When that farmer came out and released this information, do you know that they were threatening to suspend Tyson Fury for 8 years? Tyson Fury was facing an 8-year ban, and the only writers and reporters that were reporting this news were UK reporters. Almost nobody in America reported on this. And when I say almost no one, I'm talking about the main boxing websites. From boxingscene.com to ESPN to Yahoo Sports, none of those guys reported this news. America shows more loyalty to Tyson Fury than the UK does. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, the farmer was actually suing Tyson Fury because Tyson was supposed to pay him $25,000 for once again lying for him to say that Tyson Fury, he bought boar meat from this farmer. It turned out Tyson Fury has never even met this man. But what was really crazy was all of a sudden the farmer started receiving death threats. He started having people knocking on his door, and all of a sudden he said, you know what, man, I'm too old for this. And he withdrew from his lawsuit. With that being said, let's get back to something obviously being wrong with Deontay Wilder in that second fight. Now, before I go into the actual translation of what Robert Garcia was saying, don't you guys find it amazing? How is it possible that old media, they will completely write it off like there's no way in the world Tyson Fury cheated in that fight? And yet you have an expert like Robert Garcia, who's been in boxing his whole life. Since he was a little boy, he's been boxing, right? And you know, I know, not only because I did a little bit of boxing as an amateur, but I've been around boxing almost my whole life as well, from my kids being national champions. And I've already been telling you about my youngest son, Remy. He's actually about to turn pro sometime. He's planning on turning pro sometime early next year. You can go back a couple videos and watch him in action on my channel. But anyway, when you have experience and you've been around gyms, then you know how easy it is for someone to cheat. And once again, when you already see suspicious activity, things that does not add up, doesn't make sense. Like once again, a man saying, where did this water come from? I'm not drinking it, right after the fight. And I think I forgot to mention, there's another clip before that one where Tyson Fury is in his dressing room after the fight being interviewed, and he has some water in his hand. And one of his teammates comes over to him and tells him, hey, don't drink any more of that water. Don't drink any more of that water. Once again, if you're an investigator, then that is going to definitely catch your attention. So going back to what Robert Garcia said, see, what you guys have to understand is, especially when it comes to professional fighters, people that are on camera, they have an identity. They're not remaining anonymous like a lot of race fans on the internet. And they're well known in the boxing community. People like that, they're often going to imply things without saying it directly because they don't want to piss off the boxer that they're talking about. You know, this is why a lot of boxers, they don't like to give predictions. And I've heard boxers say this. No, I'm not picking anyone because sometimes fighters, you know, they take it the wrong way, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So this is the respect that a lot of fighters have with each other. So usually, if, for example, in Tyson's case, if a boxer believes he cheated, that's the way you say it. That's how you get the message out while playing it safe. Robert Garcia just basically said that I believe Deontay Wilder. He basically said, man, this man said he was drugged, and I believe him because it looked like something was wrong with him, right? It looked like something was wrong with him. He didn't say it looked like Deontay Wilder didn't train for the fight. He said something was wrong with him. George Groves is another one that tried to say things in more of a politically correct way to not really ruffle too many feathers. He was talking about the first fight when we found out that Tyson cheated in that first fight with his left glove, where he had his glove dangling all over the place. The reason why he did that was so he can actually punch with his knuckles at the bottom of the glove, where the wrist area was. That's where his knuckles were. That's why, guys, if you notice, in the first fight, a lot of times he threw the hook, it was with an open hand because the knuckles were at the bottom of the glove. He was trying to hit Deontay Wilder with bare fists. And the crazy thing is, you go back and you watch the second fight, Tyson is no longer slapping with the left hand. Now he's hammering Deontay Wilder with the right hand, right? And every time he uses the left hand, it's closed hand. In the first fight, when Tyson Fury threw a jab, his hand would be open. When he threw hooks, his hand would be open, but not in the second fight. It all adds up. But at the end of the day, the fight is only a couple days away. And I find it hard to believe Tyson will be successful at cheating in this fight. I think Tyson and Deontay Wilder knows that. Wilder has already been asked by many reporters, what are you going to do to make sure he doesn't cheat in this fight? And Wilder, he simply said, we got a lot of things in place. He sounded confident that he knew it wasn't going to happen this time. And he was wise not to tell everybody exactly what they have in store. Because, of course, somebody like Tyson Fury, he could take advantage of that. But just one more point before I close out. I actually forgot to mention this. When I was talking about the suit excuse, I ended up talking about a whole lot of other stuff. Just think about this for a second. If you were drugged and you didn't know that you were drugged, right? And the fight has already ended. This man, Tyson Fury, he's been punching this man in the head all night with God knows what is up in his gloves. Either just bare knuckle or something he put there. All we know is the glove was definitely tampered with. So after getting punched in the head all night, you're feeling woozy. The whole fight, your legs weren't under you. You're staggering all around the ring. If you didn't know why you felt that way, you would think it's something silly. You're sitting over here trying to figure out, why did I feel this way? Why was it the whole night I felt like heavy? I felt like my legs were gone. I felt something was wrong. When you're in a situation like that, you're liable to think it's anything. Because once again, you don't know why you're feeling that way. You just know you feel like something is wrong. To start thinking that it's anything that made you feel that way. Until you truly figure out why you felt that way. So I end this video by saying what I said a long time ago. There's a lot of pressure on both fighters to win this fight. This is all or nothing, this third fight. If Deontay Wilder were to lose this fight, then that means even when Tyson Fury wasn't cheating, he couldn't beat him. If Tyson Fury loses this fight, that means he was only able to beat him before because he was cheating. So there's a lot on the line, man, and I'm looking forward to watching it. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, then this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called LO Decay Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to lodecay.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improved footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a focus ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a focus ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a focus ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a focus ball. When you train with the focus ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit, making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the focus ball now.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the big day. SMPs at ScalpCarolinas. I need a real restoration. This is my makeover right here.
Fellas, I've got some great news for you. If you've lost your hair or have a receding hairline, the time has come when you can finally get your hairline back through a process called scalp micropigmentation. So here's how it works. It's a hair tattoo that replicates the look of your hair follicles when you have fully shaved it down. So to get this hookup, make sure you follow and contact my man ScalpCarolinas on Instagram.